Hello loves, welcome back to the channel. Today I am going to be doing a really quick video because I'm about to start the live in a minute, but I did want to answer a question that I saw on my comments. Somebody asked me I can't remember the username, I'm sorry. You know who you are, whoever asked the question. They asked, what do I think about the Grabovoi numbers? So I'll just explain a little bit of what the numbers are. So basically, the numbers are a way to hack the system, especially when it comes to manifestation. Instead of doing, like affirmations or doing like a like scripting or doing like positive thinking or different ways, different forms of manifestation. The Grabovoi codes are supposed to be a way to hack the system with numbers. So it does include elements of numerology in the codes. The person who created it, it's supposed to be a mathematician, and created the codes as a way to hack the universal system to basically have like a cheat codes to manifesting. So it's kind of like if you were putting in codes in the computer to have a quicker result, or have like the result come up in the computer, or for you to have like that shortcut. So the codes themselves are supposed to be a form of a shortcut. So what do I think about the codes? The codes themselves, well, the person who created the codes is seen as someone who's very problematic, because from what I've seen, people say that he like ran a cult. He's currently in prison for like fraud or something. And there's just like this, he's anti-Semitic is another one that I've seen people say, that he doesn't like Jewish people. And I've also seen people say that the codes are very triggering to Jewish people because of the Holocaust and the numbers that were written on them as well. So with that knowledge that I just gave you about the Grabovoi codes, how do you feel about it is the question. Personally speaking, I have not used them personally. I have seen a lot of people use them. I have seen a lot of people say that it works. I have seen a lot of people say that it's a placebo effect as well, because there are spells that can be placebo effects, especially when it comes to your own personal manifestation. I have seen people say a lot of these things about the codes themselves, and I think that on a personal note, I understand my Gemini moon naturally likes to separate things and kind of see something as something, and the other thing as something else. So there's a part of me that understands that people want to use these codes because it works for them, obviously, and then there's other people who have like a more social justice feeling about it. They don't feel comfortable using it because of the person attached to the codes. So it's like, I understand where people are coming from, but I also understand that the people are saying, hey, it works for me. I'm using the codes for health or fitness, and I got to my goals that I wanted to have for myself. I used a code for money, and then all of a sudden I manifested a job that pays me $30,000 more. I've seen so many people say so many different things, and it's like, personally speaking, you have to decide whether you are going to separate the two things. Are you going to use the codes with the attachment of the person who created it and have that negativity affect the usage of the codes themselves? Or are you going to, not use the codes because the person itself who created it is very problematic? That's up to you. I'm not going to tell you guys what to do. But I can understand why people say that they work and why it has worked for some people, because you can use numbers to manifest. It's not that complicated. It's not that complex. You can use numbers to manifest just as much as you can manifest with words, sigils, like you can use. So there's so many different tools. The more things that humans have created for themselves, the more things that we can use and tools that we can use to manifest. So it's up to you if you want to use the Grabovoi codes, but just make sure that you feel comfortable with what you're using, with the tools that you are using. You should feel confident in what you're using. You should feel comfortable in what you're using. You should not, because the second you start feeling like any type of, you know, regret, or, you know, that kind of feeling where you're just like, oh, maybe I'm a bad person, or am I doing this? Like, the second you start feeling that, is going to affect the codes even working for you in the first place. So you got to decide that for yourself. I can't decide that for you, but I can only bring you like the information, and, you know, you can kind of go from there. That's pretty much all I have to say on this topic, because I understand why people use them regardless. There are a lot of creations in the world that have been created by some really shitty people that we still use today. So it's kind of like, I get it. Like, I get why people are like, yo, F that person, you know, was a piece of whatever, but they also created something that works for the rest of us. So, you know, they did what they needed to do for society. That I understand people saying that perspective, and I understand people saying, no, we need to cancel this person because they're a cult leader and they did all of these things and they're in jail, they're a fraud, all of these kind of things. Like, I understand both sides of the equation, but personally speaking, to each their own. If the codes work for you, bet. If you feel guilty for using them in the first place, then don't use them. It's as simple as that. I'm not going to tell anybody what to do. I'm not going to judge people for that, because I understand the disassociation. I get it. I can see where the both sides is. Like, my Gemini moon is very like aware of it, but it's none of my business. That's something internally that you personally have to find peace with. That's kind of my thoughts on it. Let me know your thoughts on the Grabovoi codes. Do you use them? Do you have they worked for you? Is it something that you personally, you know, think that it's bad to use because the person is a, you know, POS, or do you not care and are separating the creation of the codes themselves? Or, you know, like, what is your opinion on it? Because on a personal note, I'm like, I'm not using them, so I don't care. But, you know, if somebody uses them, okay. Somebody feels, you know, like people shouldn't be using them, I get it. I also, like, you know, like, I understand the whole trying to, like, the cancellation part, the cancel culture part. Like, the second you're in jail for something, that's huge red flags to me. But I also, you know, understand people saying, yo, screw that dude, he's in jail, but these codes work for me. Like, I understand that as well, especially when it comes to manifestation. As a spiritual person, you can separate, detach from the issue at hand. So I get it. I get both sides. I'm in the middle in this. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments how you feel about it. And yeah, I hope that cleared up and that answered your question. Thank you so much for the question. And yeah, let me know if you guys use the codes in the comments below. I will see you guys in the weekly healing circle in like literally 5 minutes, because that's when it's coming up. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to do all the things.